Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I didn't know Goodreads did this, but I just found out and it looks pretty cool. So they kind of just gave me like a rundown on all the books I read in 2020 and all the statistics that goes with it. So I thought I'd make a video on it. I honestly don't really make videos on books as much as I used to. Not that I don't read as much books, it's just that I don't know, for manga series especially, it's kind of hard to talk about like a comic book for me compared to like novels. So I kind of stopped making videos on comic books, but I'm still making videos on the novels I read. I'm sure you guys know. So, first thing Goodreads told me is that I've read 33 books and 10,291 pages. Now I know, like, like a lot of people on Goodreads probably read 10 times the amount of that, but I don't know. I don't read that much compared to a lot of Goodreads or BookTube, but I do like reading. I read about once a day. So I would say this is about accurate. So the shortest book I read was 68 pages, and that was Gods of Risk. But, it was a novella from the Expanse series, so I wasn't really expecting anything else, because those books are very short. So I'm kind of surprised it was shorter than any of the comic books I read. I guess, well, I guess like I read manga volumes mostly, like different chapters combined together. So I guess that makes sense. And the longest book, definitely not a surprise, is A Storm of Swords, which was 1,177 pages, at least in my edition. And this makes a lot of sense. I don't know if this or Dance with Dragons is longer, but I wasn't able to read Dance with Dragons this year, so it makes a lot of sense. It was a very long book. I remember it took me like 2 months, maybe 3 months to read. It took me a long time to read, but one of the best books of all time. So I guess my average book length was 311 pages, which is, yeah, makes sense. It's probably not my average novel length. It's probably because it also included the comic books. So I guess if I would include like the average novel length, it would be about 500 pages, or maybe 600. So then it says like the most popular books I've read, and then the least popular book I read. And I didn't notice that like One Punch Man was less popular than My Hero Academia, but maybe it's because this is like volume 21. And, My Hero Academia, the anime is so popular now. Compared to One Punch Man, which the second season of the anime wasn't that well animated, I will say. The plot was still consistent. I think My Hero Academia is way more popular, so that's definitely why My Hero isn't the least popular book I've read. And for Game of Thrones, like, that's obvious. It's one of the most acclaimed fantasy series of all time, and it would make sense for that one to be the most popular because that was book one in the series. So my highest rated on Goodreads is A Storm of Swords. I think anybody who's seen my Game of Thrones videos knows that that takes the cake for that series. Just the way all the characters are developed and how much they change from the beginning of the book to the end of the book, all the plot twists, all the turning from bad to good, like Jaime's arc especially was fantastic. Tyrion, Sansa's, they're all great. How much they could accomplish in the book, even though, it is like 1,100 pages, so I shouldn't be surprised, but it's just the way George R. Martin handles all these different plot threads so well is very impressive. And my first review of the year was Leviathan Wakes, which is book one of The Expanse. People who see my channel knows that I'm also a big fan of that series. I'm currently reading book five right now, so the review should be out in a couple weeks. I don't know how long, but definitely during January. And now it just kind of shows like all the books I've read, like Star Wars, A Song of Ice and Fire, The Expanse, Avatar. Looks like One Punch Man, My Hero Academia, Lucas Davenport. Oh, like the main series I've read. Um, I don't know why they were arranged in this order though, because it doesn't look like the order in which I read them. And I don't know why some are bigger than the others. And it looks like I was like so close to beating my goal of 38 books. I only read 33. Guys, this is like the worst thing that happened to me in 2020. Like, out of all the shitty stuff that happened to me and everybody else, I think this takes the cake for the worst thing to ever happen to anybody, anywhere, in 2020. Well, that's it for this video. Let me know if you use Goodreads, and I'll try to come up with a more reasonable goal next time. See ya.